Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on ratio and rates. A special puzzle to warm up the brain cells is on the next slide. The answer will be given at the end. Enjoy. What is the meaning of the following? Good luck with this one, it's a little bit tricky. Ratio. A ratio compares quantities of the same kind. Also, a ratio has a specific order. For example, the ratio of Bill's salary to Joe's salary is 4:5. Since Bill is mentioned first, the 4 represents his portion. Since Joe is mentioned second, the 5 represents his portion, and that's why order is important. Hence, we know that Bill earns less than Joe. We can see how order is important. Finally, we don't know exactly the salary of each person. Another example. There are cars, bikes, and trucks in a car park. The ratio of cars to trucks to bikes is 7:5:2. So cars is to trucks is to bikes is 7:5:2. Now we can work out the following information. We know that there are more cars than either trucks or bikes. Cars is mentioned first, and it designates the number 7. Because cars is first, there's the ratio 7, so that belongs to cars. In other words, there are more cars than either trucks or bikes. There are more trucks than bikes. Trucks is mentioned second, so that's the 5. Bikes is mentioned last, which is the 2. So there are more trucks than bikes because the 5 is greater than the 2. Bikes has the lowest representation. That's because bikes is mentioned last and the ratio is 2. So it has the lowest representation. We don't know how many of each mode of transport is present. All we know are the ratios. Simplifying ratios. Simplifying ratios is similar to simplifying fractions. For example, simplify 18:12. We can see that 6 is the highest number that divides into both 18 and 12. So we divide each of these numbers by 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So 18:12 is the same as 3:2. But 3:2 is the simplified version. Rate. Rate compares quantities of a different kind. Here's the example. A car travels 60 kilometers per hour. So we're talking about distance and we're talking about time. See, they're different quantities. Sugar costs 50 cents per kilogram. We're talking about money and we're talking about mass. Different quantities, and that's what a rate is. Typical questions on ratio. In a class of 30, there are 18 boys and 12 girls. What is the ratio of boys to girls? Now, there are 18 boys, there are 12 girls. So, 18:12. There it is there. That's the ratio, see? The ratio is for boys. That's the 18 for boys. The 12 is for girls. In order to simplify it, what is the highest number that divides into 18 and into 12? And the answer is 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So the ratio is 3:2. The next question. Divide 60 in the ratio 3:7. This is like sharing, but you're not sharing equally. You're dividing this number 60 in the ratio 3:7. It's not an equal, they're not two equal parts. Now the total number of parts, 3 plus 7 is 10, so there are 10 parts. So 60 is divided into 10 parts. Now one part is 60 divided by 10. So one part represents 6. That's very important. One part represents 6. So 3 parts represents 18 and 7 parts represents 42. So remember, we started off with 3 parts and 7 parts, you see. So now this 60 is divided into 2 parts, 18 and 42. And they are the 2 parts. A question on rate. Tom has 200 cows spread over 5 hectares. How many cows is this per hectare? Well, if you have 200 cows, you divide that by 5 hectares, the answer is 40, so it's 40 cows per hectare. That's the answer. John paid $40 for 5 books. What is the average price per book? $40 divided by 5 books gives you 8, which means $8 per book. And here's a quick quiz to test your understanding. Please check through the video if you need to do so. What is the meaning of the following? The answer is split level. A little bit tricky, that one. It's a little bit different actually, but hopefully you got it out. And here are the answers to the quick quiz. And the video is at your disposal to check through at any time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe on the next slide and you will receive a notification as to when the next video is available. Hope to see you next lesson.